We're on the live screen. I just moved it. Welcome to Retro Recall, a podcast where we recall things
Re- retro things.
that are,
Yeah, mainly.
if they're from 20 years ago, we recall them. If they're 19 years ago, we'll have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get to that solid 20 mark before we're going to give you that type of brain capacity. Otherwise, come on. What are
Yep.
we doing here?
Just let us know in 2023. We'll But if it
Oh
came
my
out
God.
like May 2023,
Does that mean if we do this for 20 years, we can recall this?
yeah, we can. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
I,
like that. That seems like a loophole no one thought of before.
All I'm saying is
Oh.
thank God that I'm posting this stuff on YouTube because I'm not going to remember. Or 20 years from now, we do a podcast.
I won't remember. I barely remember that we did a documentary in college.
Right? Which was not 20 years ago.
Can't recall it.
We can't even discuss it because it's not even been 20
Yeah.
years. So, well,
I literally just started recalling sophomore year of high school, so
oh my God, I feel like I barely remember. I barely remember anything. I basically, my dog, Ripley, she's 14. Anything prior to Ripley, I barely remember.
which makes
Hello!
sense.
Hello, Mike.
What was
How's
that,
it going?
Michael?
How's
Hello,
it going?
Michael. I recall him. Wait, actually, 2002.
It's been... Has it been 20 years? No, tell me it hasn't been 20 years.
What
Please don't
year?
say it.
What year did you start high school?
2000, I
Sorry, we
think.
were the same year.
Well, started... Yeah, it started. Because it's like... Yeah, fall of 2000 to summer.
I'm gonna say that I've just begun recalling Mike then.
Yeah, I guess
Because,
it's been like
I think
22
he was
years.
either a year or 2 years after us, and I don't remember which. I'm waiting for
Yeah,
him to confirm in
he
the
was in
chat,
my
but,
grade. He was in my grade level.
well, then you did not start in 2000, because I started in 2000. You're
Okay, well, wait,
2001.
2001 to 2002. It was a long time ago. No, wait, you can confirm this, Mike. Wasn't it?
And I do, you know what? I do
Oh,
recall
no,
you, and
wait.
I do
Oh
recall
my God,
Mike
you're.
because, that
Wait,
was Wizard
we.
of Oz.
Well, I guess I was thinking technically. Wait, 2002. One, two, three, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Was it really
I
2001?
Well, you
Yeah,
have
2001
me
to
and Mike telling you
2002.
2001. You're
I
the
know what
only
year.
one who disagrees.
I know
So
what year I graduated, and it was 2005. I'm just trying to do the math.
there you go. I graduated 2004, and
Well,
I started in
I guess I was
2000.
thinking 2000 to 2001 school year, but I guess it was a one. God, that was 21 years ago.
We're gonna get to the Phantom Menace eventually, Cooter. Right
No,
now,
no,
we're
no.
doing math. Okay, math is
Right
very
now,
important to this podcast. I recall math.
right now, I'm just showing concern. Oh, very important. Can we hear Dan?
I already tested it, and yes, I can hear me loud and
Okay,
clear. And
perfect.
once again, for those viewing at home, this microphone comes up when I am very serious, and please recall, it is attached to nothing. Anyway,
Well, that's good. I mean, just in
it's
case
a
anyone.
safety blanket.
Well, now I feel like I should have one.
Now it's too late. You don't have one. Hey, what were you doing in 1999?
Let me tell you, not entering high school.
Yeah, well,
All right.
you know what? I was. Oof. Oof. I was getting ready, right? Like I was finishing up middle school. I was. Yes, no nonsense, Mike. We have a podcast to do. Gosh darn it.
Well, we're getting there, right? Because in May 1999, you were probably getting ready for high school, while others were getting ready to get in line to watch Star Wars.
Too corny. Come on. We were going to build up a little better than that. You just went right to the
I
line.
did.
Everyone remembers the line for Phantom Menace. You have seen videos. You have seen pictures. You have seen, look, everyone's seen that video of them interviewing people as they're entering the theater and then interviewing them again as they exit the theater to get their reaction, right? Like that stuff. that's like part of the Star Wars tapestry. But what I really wanted to talk about, Jen, the reason I brought this up is I want to see if you remember how fucking crazy they got with that marketing to
Oh
the
yeah.
point where like literally there was Pepsi cans for every
Mm-hmm.
single character and you needed to collect them all. And I don't just mean Liam Neeson or Ewan McGregor, like actors who you'd think like, oh yeah, I definitely want. No, you're getting palace guards, you're getting droids that have a one beep in the script, right? Like everyone made it on those cans because this was Star Wars. This was Star Wars
They
after
wanted that money.
they wanted that money. It had been 10 years since they tasted that sweet, sweet, sweet galaxy far away merchandising cash.
Exactly. It's like I swear half the time they're creating characters just so they can have something to sell, like the merchandise, than it was for it being a
Well,
very good character.
that was legitimately George Lucas's whole shtick.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like because I mean, you went to film school, so you know this stuff. But of course, George Lucas and Coppola and Spielberg, they had
Oh.
their own little grouping. But no, what really gave George Lucas the edge, what really made him explode beyond his peers, when in reality his peers were far better directors, was that he was the guy who had the weird idea of like, well, you can have a lot of the money. I just want merchandising rights. So if you just give me merchandising, that's all I care about. And
It's
so
actually pretty
that,
good. Pretty good.
thank you so much. Yes, it was the Pepsi limited edition. In fact, I had a friend in middle school in build up to this movie who was so excited about this movie that he had every single one of those Pepsi limited edition cans. And now this is a person that you knew, but I will not say their name because I don't want to name and shame on here,
Oh,
because
if
there was
they're into
another
that,
side
yeah.
to this story, which was he had every single one of those cans, but he didn't know how to collect things yet. Like he wasn't a collector. Like I grew up with like comic books and Pokemon
Yeah.
cards. I understood collecting. He didn't have that mindset, so he literally got every single can and also opened every single can and drank every single can and didn't wash out every single can and left every single can sitting in a pyramid in his room, that became a giant temple of ants,
Oh my
that got
god.
thrown out. And no, Michael, that is not who I am referring to. You know I would name and shame if it was Brian Davis.
Man,
Uh,
that'd be sad. He's not even here to defend himself.
I couldn't do that to Brian. Brian, you know what? Like, Brian got a lot of crap in our friends group because I think he was just good at taking crap. Like he was just very good at taking it with a smile.
Poor
He's
guy.
earned a reprieve. He's earned the reprieve from that. But beyond the Pepsi side of it, what about the gaming side? Did you play any of the Phantom Menace
Yes, the
games?
pod. Well, just the pod racing game. The best thing about pod racing, or the whole scene,
That that
was the
arcade
game coming
game
out.
specifically, that arcade game, because like I had it on. Oh God, I can't remember what system it was on, but it was fine. Like it was
Yeah.
fine playing it, holding the A button. I think it was N64.
Well,
Um,
yeah, yeah. You're talking about the pod racing game, or just in general?
yeah, the pod racing game
Yeah, that was
specifically.
N64. I
Yeah, but
remember.
then
Let's
there
just
was
say.
the actual arcade machine with the
Oh,
two
okay.
like
Oh, okay.
thrusters that like you steered by like going back and forth with the. Oh, it was great.
Oh, I don't. I didn't get to play that. And now I'm
It's
sad.
it's still at some arcades. I still see it every now and then because it's kind of
Really?
considered one of those like few Star Wars arcade games. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like the that 80s vector art Star Wars game. Like that's never gonna fully die. It
Yeah.
will always pop back up.
Well, now I just need to find an arcade because I want to do that.
Or build your own.
I feel. Yeah, I guess.
I know a guy in northern South Florida who builds arcade cabinets. You want me to hook you up with him?
look,
Maybe
look.
he's got the pod racing specs.
I know a guy. I know a guy that could hook you up for a fancy arcade. Okay.
His
Um.
name is Watto, and he is only vaguely racially insensitive. we're not going to talk about the racial insensitivity of the prequels because I have a lot of notes on that. I probably shouldn't have like kicked that because again, this isn't about the movies. I just want to say that for the record because like the movies, uh, they've stood the test of time, right? The movies have
They're,
they're crap, but like everyone knows them. Like
yeah.
the prequels have found a new life with Gen Z in a way that
Yes.
like they deserve, and like that's great. I love it. But the marketing, I still like, I look back because I think it was also one of the only times where they had toys at McDonald's before the movie
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
Burger King before the VHS DVD release. So like literally they like they tried to
Oh,
check every box.
yeah. Well, that's all it was. Just, yeah, them just want to make massive amounts of merchandise versus the characters actually being very good. Jar Jar Binks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I feel so bad for that actor. Like I know that like again, thank God that the prequels have gotten new life with Gen Z because
Yeah.
like they're they're
Yes.
they're starting to right those wrongs. But
Yeah.
like that poor actor got like his whole life ruined
Could
just because he took a role in Star Wars. That seems like a safe bet.
could you imagine? And like, yeah, because they were coming out the merchandise and everything. Like, he was supposed to be Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be like this cute, awesome new character doll they can sell. Guy was probably like, excited, like I get to voice this character. I'm part of Star Wars. Hands down, probably one of the worst characters in Star
Yeah,
Wars of all time.
because there he had no purpose. He had no direction. He was just a comic relief for the sake of being comic relief. And
And he
like
wasn't a very good comic relief either.
no, but that's because like how are you supposed to be funny when the backdrop is like trade negotiations? Like that's not exciting.
No, but I feel like it's possible. It's
Sure, I'm not
possible.
saying that trade negotiations can't be a
It can
rip
be funny.
roaring
No,
riot.
but I mean, you could have a comedic relief. He was just terrible at. I mean, he was just.
He had nothing funny to say. He just had slapstick. But like you said, and I think that this is the truth, they didn't care as much about what
Hmm.
the character did. They just wanted what did he look like? We need a
Yeah,
toy.
we need something
What
cute, adorable.
yeah, that's it. That's the same reason why they found a reason to shoehorn C3PO into the movie. It wasn't because the
Yeah.
character was needed, it's because they wanted to sell action figures of this C3PO without his skin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, actually, I was just watching that earlier because it's been a long time since I've seen the Phantom Menace. I think I blocked it out of my head for reasons. I remember seeing it in theaters and waiting like probably 2 weeks after it came out just to go see it. Not I was not going to wait in a line. Um, no, no, no. And I remember really enjoying the movie, but then when I watched it years later, I'm like, oh, now I'm blocking it out of my head. It wasn't very good.
You know, it's
Ish.
it's interesting. So
I didn't.
altogether, first off, I want to make sure I address this comment. Yes, the 70s Vector Star Wars game is the absolute worst Star Wars game ever. 100%, but it's a classic. Like, I love it. It's crap, but it's absolutely, I love it. But the um, the Phantom Menace when it came out, like, because I remember seeing it, I did wait
Yeah.
in a line, but it wasn't a long line because, like, you know, the AMC we went to, we grew up near each other.
Yeah.
There was never a huge crowd there.
No.
Um, so like I saw it and I did enjoy it. Like overall, I enjoyed the
Yeah.
movie. I had a fun time. But I remember thinking like this wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't necessarily feel that in a negative way. That's the thing. And I didn't really feel negatively about the movie until I started seeing like critics' opinions, right? Like until I started seeing these critiques, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that." And like they started poking holes in this thing that was still fresh. And so like then I kind of started blocking it out. And I'll admit I have revisited the prequels in recent years. Phantom Menace is not great. It really isn't. It's weak. Um, Not as weak as the second film, but the third, however, whew, it's way better than I gave credit. But no, anyway, all of that to say, like, I bought the hype in the beginning, and the
Yeah.
hype did help me have a positive reaction at first because,
Mhm.
like, they showed you the things they wanted you to get excited about when you were
Yeah.
going to see the movie. They showed you Darth Maul, right?
Exactly.
Like,
And he was terrifying. Like that was a good
yeah,
nemesis. That was like a good bad guy to have. Like
uh,
he that
that
was
visually you knew
yes.
just at a glance. He wasn't imposing like Vader. Like he wasn't the like that like he didn't have the dad vibe, no pun intended.
No, we had this kind of like
Uh,
Hellraiser kind of like scary, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I think like it was more like that. Yeah, like you said, this visual like you're like you know if I see you, I'm gonna walk away, sir. Please don't
Yeah.
slash me.
And
Yeah.
then I don't know how deep you dive into Star Wars, but that's a character that ended up having such a great revival through like the Clone Wars series, through like the cartoons and
Oh, I
everything.
haven't watched those.
Oh, he takes such a turn. He's never really a good guy, but he definitely turns against the bad guys, so he's kind of just in between it all. But like, oh, Cooter, 100%. We all bought his double lightsaber, and it was that crappy plastic one where you like press the button and it would just like shoot out like a couple inches, but you still thought you were the coolest fucking
Yeah.
person on the planet. I guess you could use that thing.
As long as you
Uh,
pee pee.
yeah, but no, he legitimately ended up having like a really good story through like the actual Star Wars canon, which is great because like to me he felt wasted in the film.
Yeah.
He was really cool. He built my excitement, right? Like I was excited to see him fight, and hell, the Duel of Fates was incredible, right? Like that lightsaber battle was great.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, but I remember walking out and thinking like, did he say anything that whole movie? Did he talk?
There, I think he did. Again, I was
Two
rewatching it.
lines.
I was rewatching it, and I think he was like, it was about three words. It wasn't. It was like, what do we do now? Kind of like something like that. You know, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was
easy for the
just
actor to memorize.
well, Ray Park. Ray
Pin
Park
pan
is
sword
more
sword.
of Ray Park is definitely more of like a stunt actor than he
Mm-hmm.
was like an actor. So I'm sure that was also part of it.
Right. So wait, I have a question because he does die at the end. He gets like torn in half. So wait,
Mhm.
in the the what was the cartoon? The clones.
Clone Wars and Rebels are the ones he's in.
Wait,
Um,
does that
I'll,
happen after the fact? Because like,
it does, it does. So
how
so
does he come back?
he survives his injuries. He gets cybernetic legs.
But
Um,
how do you?
yeah,
I have got to watch this because I'm like, I saw what happened to him. I don't know how somebody survives that. It's like in the middle,
Yeah,
like.
the wound was instantly cauterized. You got to keep that in mind.
Oh,
Instantly,
true,
no blood
true.
loss, right? So, and all the organs that he needed were above, right? So, like, he just got some
He just
robo legs and had a
all
great time.
all the real good organs are just luckily just high right up in this area.
Yeah, so that's really, guys, if anything, if you take anything away from this podcast, and I'm hoping specifically I'm saying this to children that are watching this podcast, if you're going to get cut in half, just make sure it's below the important
Yeah.
organs, and then we can save you.
Like as long as you still have like your liver, you're fine. If we're
Hmm.
like a little bit above your appendix, you don't need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can lose one kidney. So if you go at like an angle, that's okay.
But that's what I'm saying. The way he was cut looks like it would have cut both his kidneys. Like if his kidneys are like this, like that's how
Well,
it's
now,
back.
so now,
Like
now
his
we're playing a dangerous game. You're assuming he has kidneys. You don't know anything about his species.
well,
There might be nothing vital in the torso. Torso might be just filled with air.
so
It's a
what? So it's
bubble.
all up in here. Like his kidneys are in his
His,
shoulders.
everything is up here. This is a protective bubble that he can let out to fly. He can pop it and like it.
I have way too many questions. Like I have to watch this cartoon. I might have to send an email.
I don't know
Unbelievable.
if you'll get the answers you want, but I think you'll enjoy it anyway.
I, I just need an email. I just want to call somebody. Excuse me, whoever wrote this, I have questions. How is he alive? I
Dear
saw what happened to him.
Kathleen Kennedy, I have questions for
This
you
is
and the Disney organization.
Mr. Disney. This is Richard Jenny. I
Mr. Disney, your studio has gone downhill since the release of The Apple Dumpling Gang Strikes Back. Or Rides Again. Sorry, Rides Again. For those Apple Dumpling Gang purists out there, it's Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again.
sorry, I
Are
was.
we here to talk about Apple Dumpling Gang? I can talk Don
We're,
Knotts all
let me
night.
go
That's
ahead and
not
change
retro.
the.
That's
Let me
that's
change.
like antique recall, but I'm in.
I was gonna say, what happens when you're like past 30 years? Like, when does it go like retro, vintage, antique?
Oh, okay,
Is there
okay.
anything after antique? Just
Retro, vintage, antique, ancient.
ancient? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anything past antique is ancient. Anything past, let's say, 1930, anything pre-World War II, we consider ancient.
Really?
I'm making this up. There's no
Yeah.
rule here. I'm just coming up with my own rating.
So you're. See, I don't even know. How can I believe you on anything? How do I even know that Darth Maul is still alive, according to the Clones Wars cartoon thing?
Whoa, whoa! Shots fired.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, Dave
Should
Filoni.
circle
Dave
back.
Filoni wouldn't lie to you. Thank you.
But Dan might. I don't know. Okay, you're right. I'll
Dan,
go.
Dan might, and Dan does. More importantly, I'm not lying though. This is very important. That part's not a lie. Um, I realize we're talking about Darth Maul. We got to talk about little babyface Ewan McGregor as well,
Oh my
because
god! I can't believe how young he looked.
that was the other
Rewatched
side.
it.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the
So
other side of the marketing though. Was like because I feel like he was fresh off of Train Spotting at that point, so he was still real slender and baby
yeah.
faced, right? Like, but like because he was playing Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Mm-hmm.
his face was everywhere. Like, my
Yeah.
God, I feel like that poor man, if no matter how that movie did, he was going to be a celebrity
Mm-hmm.
because his face was just
Oh,
everywhere.
it's like Hayden Christensen. Does he even have to act? The face says it all. But Ewan McGregor is actually a good actor and did well.
I
Not
love the
knocking
rat
Hayden
tail,
Christensen.
Harley Quinn. Let's chill here. All right, that is an important rat tail for Padawans. It shows that they have not gone through the trials of the Jedi yet. So let's just chill on hating on the rat tail. Thank you. Okay.
I'm not a fan of rat tails, so I'm gonna agree with Harley Quinn there.
Sorry that you guys hate Jedi culture. You might as well become Sith.
Maybe we will.
You know what?
Maybe
You
we will.
can. There's a Sith rule of two, and there are only two of you hating on the rat tail right now, so it works.
Perfect. Wow, look at that.
Look at that. Can I also tell you how dumb I was in 1999? There's
I think a
another
lot of
aspect
us
of
were.
this. Well, sure, I think we all were.
But go
Um,
on.
I didn't realize that the guy who played the Emperor in like Return of the Jedi was not like an old man. I didn't ever think of like, oh, he's like a 40 or 50-year-old man
Mm-hmm.
in makeup, which is what it was. I instead was just like, oh yeah, this is like an 80 or 90-year-old actor. So when Phantom Menace came out and they like showed Senator Palpatine and showed that he's the Emperor, I was like, oh, they get the same actor. And I just like didn't hit me that like, hey, Dan, it's only been 10 years since Return of the Jedi, and this actor isn't that old.
Yeah, I guess. It does feel like it was so much longer though. Well, I mean, it was what,
It
like
does.
16, right? Like more like,
Yeah, it was more than
but
just
still,
10 years,
but
but
still, it felt like it was more like 30. I don't know why. You think
well,
I felt
I
like it
think
felt like
the
30 years from the Return of the Jedi. That's how I felt. But yeah,
I
you're right.
I
It's not
think
that long in
I
between.
I think that's a lot to do with how they marketed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, truthfully, I think for those of us who lived through the buildup of Phantom Menace, it was never just being billed as like the next Star Wars
Yeah.
entry. It was like after all these years, George
Yes.
Lucas is finally telling us the Anakin story. And you're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
yes, after all these years. And you never thought about the years. You just thought, like, yes, I was too young for the original Star Wars, so
Yeah.
it must have been in the ancient times.
Well, that's exactly they're trying to market to the new generation. feel like I should have a
I
Pepsi
mean,
doing that.
literally, that's all marketing is. I've
Yeah.
learned as someone who now works in that field. Granted, not in consumer, so like it feels far less shady. But like consumer marketing is literally just like, how do we trick these poor saps into buying it, even though it's gonna kill them?
And we fell for it. But we didn't. Obviously, we didn't die. But yeah, in general. Yeah. I
Well, obviously we didn't die, but
but I just, God, we totally fell for it. Because when I think about it, it really did feel like so much farther. And you're right, because it really was that.
here,
Um,
let's.
it's been all these years. New generation. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, and same thing with the Star Wars sequels that came out. Now that Disney bought them, it was like,
Yeah.
after all these years, there's a new Star Wars story to tell. Can you believe it?
Like, I can't.
I
After
can't
all these
believe it.
years.
My goodness. Yeah, so Return of the Jedi came out in 83, so it had been 16 years, which granted,
Yeah.
16 years is not negligible. That's it, like it was before we were
And
born.
maybe that's what it was too, because it's like we weren't alive for that. Like when
Yeah,
it came out, like we don't remember that coming out. You know,
yeah.
so that's why it felt like, oh, this is new, this is wild.
This is our Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly,
Um,
exactly.
oh my God. And then yeah, Force Awakens came out in 2015. 16 years. Right? Wait.
Wait, okay, it was
1999 to
1999.
yeah.
Wow, Sweet 16, huh?
So this is on purpose. This is by design. George Lucas must have figured out that you are more likely to buy toys if you wait 16 years between releasing.
Wait a second. I'm gonna Google define retro because someone said it was 15 years, and everybody's like, I'm gonna make it 16. The last time you watched a Star Wars movie, it was retro. Now we're bringing it back.
Hot damn. And you can tell this is serious because you're doing that weird neck thing. That's how I know we've got this.
Retro. Okay, how long does something have to be till it's retro? I'm gonna Google that. You speak.
Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm going to do an ad for our sponsor for this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Twinkies. Remember Twinkies? They still exist. Remember they went away for a while and everybody freaked out? That was probably a marketing ploy that you fell for because Hostess Twinkies are doing great.
When did those
Buy
come
yourself
out?
a Twinkies.
I don't.
I don't know. They came
They're
out at a time when it was normal to hoard them in a nuclear bomb shelter. So I guess
so
70s,
and
60s.
vintage then. Um, so
They're
apparently,
Ghostbuster aged.
so no, I guess retro's actually 20 years.
Wow. Okay, so then Phantom Menace isn't retro. We're going to have to go further back and talk about the Star Wars novels. Who here wants to talk about Shadows of the Empire and the dashing hero, no pun intended, Dash Rendar?
I believe the stream name says Phantom Menace. So we're gonna rewind it back.
Hey, referencing Dash Rendar fits into our podcast because he was the main character of the hit N64 game Shadows of the Empire. Thank you so much.
Shadows of the Empire? Oh my god, did I even play on 64?
Apparently not. That was like
Oh
the
my
Star
god.
Wars game of
I
N64.
was
Please,
too
someone back
I
me up in
was
the chat.
too busy pod racing.
Ooh, I don't have points to give. Like, this is not that kind of show, but I will absolutely give bonus points to whoever puts in the famous cheat code from uh,
I've,
Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on Nintendo 64.
it was,
It is a cheat code forever burned in my brain.
I was probably too busy pod racing and or playing Ocarina of Time and Wave
Hey,
Race.
I pod raced, I wave raced, I ocarinaed my butt off, and I still found time to deal with Boba Fett
I
and the Shadows of the
I
Empire.
don't remember this. I'm
Ooh, I
googling
did
it
not
right.
know that, Cooter. That's a good one. First N64 game to retail for 79.99. That is absurd.
That's probably why I never played it, and I also did not rent it from Blockbuster. That would 79.99. Good lord, that is
That was a
absurd.
great game, though. My God, what a game.
Oh, please tell everybody. I mean, tell us details. What did you like most about it? Why did you like it? Why do you think it was a great game?
It was it was basically a Dark Souls game before Dark Souls existed. Like truthfully, it was kind of that thing you were expected to die a lot, but like that was kind of N64
Yeah.
in general. Um, no, it was so the Shadows of the Empire books in general. I loved in middle school. I was like really into them for some reason. I liked those characters, so like it was already baked in that I was gonna like it. But what I really liked about the game was it was wide spanning in Star Wars. So like one boss fight, for example, is you trying to get out of the Hoth base while like Luke and Leia and Han are escaping on one side, your character's on the other side of the base escaping,
Okay.
and the boss fight is getting out of a room full of wampas.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
So like okay, cool. What a cool boss fight. Then later in the game, you're in Cloud City, and the boss fight is you have to stop Boba Fett, and so you're fighting Boba Fett, and he escapes, but comes back in his ship, and the boss fight is you standing on a fucking flight platform fighting the Slave One ship as he's like like flying by, blasting at you. So like it was just a kind of ridiculous Star Wars game, and
Yeah.
that's what I needed. That's what like Star Wars does so well.
Just ridiculousness. I
Nothing to do with Phantom Menace. I've also played a Phantom Menace game on Dreamcast that was meh, but that's not Dreamcast's fault. Thank you. Just want to say that for the record. Dreamcast for life, everybody.
Nintendo's better. Um,
The GameCube? Come on. Mini discs? Come on.
just in general. I mean,
They've survived a little
overall.
bit longer as a hardware company.
You know,
Yes,
that goes,
I'll give you
oh
that.
man, like, let me buy a T-shirt that has a Dreamcast on it. No, you don't go to.
Yeah, they do.
No, you go to like every of those like places have like say Kohl's, right? Your generic
Oh,
like
sure,
game
not Kohl's,
section.
but
Yeah,
like you go to Hot
or
Topic, you're gonna find a
Walmart.
Dreamcast
You know
shirt,
what
and
you're
it's
also
gonna
gonna find
say
on Hot Topic? A
Sing.
Nintendo, along with
Yeah,
it.
sure, and
Nintendo's great.
a Nintendo belt,
They're
seatbelt belt that you can put on and walk out with, and it has mushrooms on it. I get it. I'm not saying Nintendo's not there, and I'm not saying that it
I'm
doesn't
I'm
deserve to
just
be there.
saying
I'm
that
just saying
there's
Sega's there
more.
too.
I mean, I guess as well, but I'm just saying there's more Nintendo, aka it's
How about
better.
this? How about this? There's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie that has James Marsden in it, and your Mario is just going to have Chris Pratt. So, game, set, match. Game, set, match. Oh, yeah, and Jim Carrey in Sonic the Hedgehog. Jim Carrey
Really?
and James Marsden in Sonic the
I
Hedgehog
love James
movies.
Marsden. I love
Two
him.
movies. I do too. James Marsden is like one of my top man crushes, like way up there.
I just don't see how Chris Pratt is going to be Mario. I just don't see
I
it.
don't get it. Eh, it'll be fine. Chris Pratt's fun. He's
I
just going to make it
sure
fun.
it's.
He's just not going to do the Mario voice, I'm guessing.
I mean, I could totally see him, obviously, in any other. I just don't see him as Mario. He's
Why are
blonde
we
and
going back to why did we do this? We went back to Mario versus how
I.
focus.
I'm gonna every single topic we'll have going forward. We're somehow gonna go back to Sega versus Nintendo. We could talk about like Jurassic Park. Well, that Chris Pratt's gonna be in that new Mario movie. Yeah,
And yeah, Chris Pratt's really bridging the gap of all of our retro things.
right. We could talk about like Unsolved Mysteries and how scary that show was. You know what else is scary? Those bad guys in Mario. I don't know.
Hmm.
I
You
don't know.
really
We're gonna
you didn't
work.
have that one.
No, I didn't have it, but I'm sure when we talk about Unsolved Mysteries at some point, which now that's going to be a topic we'll have to have one day.
Solved mysteries, yeah, man. Also, I noticed, yes, Mike, I agree. Jim Carrey could play a goat in a film. I don't know if that's. I think he knows that too. He could absolutely
Mm-hmm.
play a goat.
Yes, absolutely.
Very convincing
He
goat. He
he
did play a
will
penguin.
be the greatest goat of all time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I would say that Jim Carrey as a goat would be like goat.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anyways, back to Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so also with Phantom Menace, I I also realized because I'm glad you rewatched it as well. I also rewatched it through to get just kind of get it back front of mind.
Yeah. just to
Um,
remember it.
they really also like market, and granted, it's because of who he is as an actor, but they really marketed Liam Neeson as well. Like he was
Yeah.
also being pushed like a lot, and like I don't know.
Was
You could tell they wanted him to be the new Obi-Wan
mm-hmm.
Kenobi, right? You could tell they wanted
Yeah.
him to be the wizard, the Gandalf, right? Um, and it's not that I didn't get that feeling from him. I absolutely did. Like he just, I feel like again, it was one of those things. He just wasn't actually around as much. He wasn't around long enough to really sink in.
Yeah.
Um, his death was tragic, of course, just because it caught everybody off guard, I think. But um,
Yeah, I really thought he was
yeah,
gonna live longer. Like I really thought
or do more.
yeah. I really didn't
Like
expect his
all,
death at the end of the movie. I really thought he was going to I don't know. I guess I thought Obi-Wan would eventually become, like a Jedi, but
yeah,
that's because, Liam Neeson kind of kaputs, but from, regular old age or something else. And that was not the very end of that 2 hour and 11 minute
no.
movie.
Well, and but like it's not even just that like he died at the end because like great actors die in movies, right? Like you and they still make that impact, but it was like the way they marketed him, I thought we were getting a Yoda.
Exactly.
Like I
Like,
thought we were getting this like he's gonna span across multiple films. Like yes, he did die in this film, but don't worry. You're
mhm.
gonna see his Force ghost. You're gonna
Yeah,
hear from him again. Like he's gonna be coming back. And it was none of that. Which also, I guess, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Star Wars. Why are you watching this podcast?
yeah. I mean, I feel like the spoiler expiration date has passed. So sorry. It's been like
Whoops a doodle.
22, 23 years. If you haven't seen it now,
Also, we've
that's
been
on you.
talking about it for like 38 minutes, and I'm only just now getting to a spoiler. But this time, you guys can hear me, so this is great.
Yeah, that's true. That's because we got a few more followers. So I thought, well, all right, dual sound.
Yep. I told everybody last week we had to get to 10 in order to do dual audio. We need 15 in order to make it high quality, though.
Yes,
So,
we need
you know,
15, and then I will fix the overlay.
yeah. So get us to 50. Yeah, because you see those arcade machines below us right there? Those are supposed to have things on them.
Also,
Um,
there is a slight panic on my part because the screen was not capturing our webcams. So I had to, like a minute before, restart, finally add the webcams, so now the overlay is not as perfect as I'd like it. So yeah, 15 followers and it'll be perfection next week.
wait, so we're asking people to follow because we're imperfect right now. We're saying like, hey, tell your friends that we're not that good, but we'll get better.
Yeah,
That's where
it's
we
fun
go.
because it's fun to watch people grow and
Oh,
like their
yeah,
overlays.
yeah. Just like little Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Watched him grow up through those prequels. And we should talk about what was that? Do you remember that actor's name? Jake Lloyd?
Yeah, I just
Can't
yeah.
remember.
He was in Jingle All the Way. That's all I know.
He was in
He was
Jingle All
in
the
Jingle All
Way.
the Way.
Oh my God.
I
So
think
I made
he's still in
I
two
made my
movies he's
wife
in.
watch Jingle All the Way over the holidays last year because it's one of my favorites.
It's a great
It
movie. It's
it's
fantastic.
bad. It's very bad. It's very bad and it remains bad, but like it's still tons of
Exactly.
fun. Um
Like, yeah, Arnold and Sinbad are so good together. I just had fun. It's a fun, bad movie. And
Arnold,
Phil
Sinbad, and
Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah. Oh my god, rest in pease.
Rest in
Um,
peace.
oh, Phil Hartman is so good. Just the
Harley
best.
Quinn, your comment is being ignored. We had to watch Jingle
The
All the Way.
worst movie. Surely there are other worse movies like Phantom Menace.
Come on, yeah, absolutely.
But
Uh,
Jingle All the Way is so good. But anyways, yeah, that was I swear the only other movie that actor was in.
well, I think it was, and he's a kid actor, right? Like, I never want to say like he was a terrible actor because he's a kid, right? Like,
Yeah.
kids are as good as their director. And I think what's become obvious is like, look at like Steven Spielberg directing E.T. versus
Yeah.
like versus like Phantom Menace, right? Like there is clearly George Lucas is not the director of actors. He is the director of special effects.
Hmm.
He is the director. He is a visionary. He knows his story, but he is not. He should not be directing the human interactions.
Yeah. 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 Sorry, I always think about the flirty scenes between Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen. It's like, oh, guys, calm down. You're getting all of us hot and heavy. I
The
don't like
well,
sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
But like, all right, cool,
Oh,
bro.
cool. Did you want to just do it
Yeah.
now? I guess.
So just again,
On
he's got the
no
looks.
sand.
So
He's got the looks. Well, but they also did that awkwardness in Phantom Menace as well. They kind of tried to build romance just like a touch, but
yeah,
like
the
the
kid was a
age
little
difference was
flirty.
too much.
Yeah, because the kid was. I mean, he was a little too flirty, Anakin, right? Because he was like, "Are you one of the?" I can't remember, but he's like, "Are you one of the angels?
Are you an
Are you an
angel?
angel? Let's talk about angels." And it's like,
What?
I'll admit, kid Anakin had more moves and more lines than Hayden Christensen did, as far as
Yeah,
like flirting, because that was
but like
it was still kind of
teenager
gross.
teenager Padme was like into it, which is not great.
Yeah, because she really was
Not
just like,
great.
oh,
Yeah, like how many like 13-year-olds did you know that were like, "No, I have a crush on like this 9-year-old. He's kind of I don't know, he called me an angel."
yeah. I'd be like, ew.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I'd be like, thank you. Tap
Okay.
on your head, you know.
That's cute. So
You're
you're
just
a slave
adorable.
child,
Yeah.
huh?
So what is that? So like, what do you do?
So you just like, do you build these robots
Are these like your
or
parts or, you know? Yeah,
what is
exactly.
you answer to that guy? Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk to him real quick.
Yeah, and because that's the thing. Like, she did seem a little too into it, into talking to that kid. And otherwise, I'd be like, well, thank you for the compliment, but I'm seeing somebody.
Yeah. Well, you're a
Sorry.
queen on the run. That just like there was an attempted assassination on your life, and your planet's blockaded. Like you're not out looking for a child bride.
Right?
I assume.
And if anything, if I was Padme, I'd be like, hello, Obi-Wan.
Right? Come on.
I
Well,
mean, you're
but
like a
with that rat
Jedi.
tail.
I mean, in the middle of the night, just cut it off. But I'd be like, you're cute, and you're a Jedi. You like saved my life. And 16-year-old me was definitely smitten. Hayden Christensen. I'll admit he was quite the looker. I did like him a lot.
Yes. And he had such emotional depth as well.
Ugh, nobody likes sand, okay?
I I don't like hating on Hayden Christensen because I so I saw something recently. And I can't. I will absolutely. By the time this is on YouTube, I'll find what it was and link it. But there was somebody talking about Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin, and like if you take every single one of those lines that was delivered awkwardly,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it doesn't sound right, but if you were to imagine that exact same line delivered by Darth Vader with the mask, with the breathing, with everything, it makes sense because
Yeah.
that's how he talks. That's how he's thinking. That's how he
So.
articulates his thoughts.
I
I
hate
hate
sand.
sand. It's coarse and gets
That's
everywhere.
true. I guess I
Yeah,
can see it from
he's
that
slow.
perspective.
He's Vader talks very slow and deliberately. Like he takes those awkward pauses, which granted it's because it's James Earl Jones like
Yeah.
fucking eating every scene he's in, but
Hmm.
like that there was someone who mentioned that and I was like, yeah, I could see that being a direction that George Lucas would give Hayden Christensen, which would absolutely fuck him up
Yeah.
as an actor.
Yeah, which is so bad. Oh, because he didn't get to live that one down. But in other movies, he really is a good actor. He really is. It's
Well, he
just
came back for the Kenobi series. Did you watch Kenobi?
no. I
Oh,
man, if there's anything made after like 2000 and what year is it? 2015. Hello, Retro Jenny. I don't see
yeah.
anything new.
Yeah, it's 2015. Don't look up anything else.
Right?
Just
Okay.
stop
I
there.
just stopped at 2010, so or
Yeah,
2012. So when it's
s-
2013, I can watch something. Yeah,
stop there.
yeah, it was
Stop there.
2023.
Also, I agree with Harley
Watch it
Quinn.
now.
Watch Kenobi. What seriously? It's
All
Ewan
right.
McGregor and Hayden Christensen back together again. It's
Well, let me go ahead and put the ending soon screen on and just end the stream. I'm gonna watch it right now.
well, hey, you have to wait 14
I
more
will.
minutes. Also,
I
by
will.
the
I
way,
promise I
you know
will.
what I realized? I meant to do this before we started streaming. Hey, everybody, peek behind the curtain. It's me, Dan, Great and Powerful Oz. Uh, we didn't decide on our next podcast topic,
Oh,
so we're gonna make it up on the fly. So
uns-
just get that ruminating in the back of your mind.
I'm already sold on unsolved mysteries.
You know, I didn't really watch Unsolved Mysteries, so you can tell me all about it. I would love to learn about the.
All
I
right.
wasn't into it.
All right,
Not
let's
yet.
get
Not
off
yet.
of the stream. You're watching it right now. It's on Hulu. The original too. I know I think they have a remake of it, but
Should we save Unsolved Mysteries for October though? Should that be like Halloween build up?
yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, yeah, because I want to do like scary stuff. Like I want to talk about scary movies, slasher movies, unsolved mysteries.
I want to
We
do a
have
costume contest. I want to do not between
well,
you and I want to do like a retro costume contest where we like throw up some costumes from like 20 years ago that people wore in movies and TV shows and
literally
like
throw up.
tear them apart.
Yes, I would love to do that. Whoa, we really we need to get together and like write down our ideas. Guys,
We
help us
should try
out.
planning one of these days. We should like, I don't know, put some thought into this podcast one of these
Right?
days.
Guess we should
No, that's okay.
guess we could always do this off screen. No, this is more fun. What do you
Yeah,
guys
what
think? What do you guys think? You like that
yeah,
costume idea? Unsolved mysteries? I
we've
really
got people in the chat right now. I'd love to hear what people want to hear us talk about because we've just been making it up as we go.
I really want to do a Scream. I know what you did last
Yeah.
summer. I like
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
spooky
we
theme month. I like that.
spooky theme
Absolutely.
month October. We
Absolutely.
absolutely need to do the slasher films that Scream inspired because there
Yeah.
was like an era of slashers with like I Know What You Did Last Summer, My Bloody Valentine, like all
Urban
these movies.
legends.
Urban Legends,
That
Jeepers
yeah.
Creepers. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love Jeepers Creepers. Both of them. So
But
good.
then it all ended with Saw. Because once Saw came out, the horror genre changed again. It
Oh
was all
yeah.
different. So,
Because it went from, I was like, it went from like slasher to grotesque. Even though
yeah,
because Saw just was like, I don't know.
it was gore.
It was, yeah.
It was gorer,
Because it really did
which
go from like slasher to gore, then with, like Rob Zombie and all his. Okay, we got it.
yeah, we're really we've all right. So we've got October down. That's great. What's
Now,
next week?
now that we gave away pretty much our conversation for October, it went from slasher to gore. Next
Halloween
week.
Town and Hocus Pocus. Absolutely, we'll do it.
Oh
We'll
my god,
absolutely.
yes! I love the Halloween Town movies. And of course
Oh
Hocus
God.
Pocus, but I love Halloween Town. I feel like that's not like a really like a lot like well talked about or not well talked about. Not a lot of people talk about. Not a lot of people like watched Halloween Town. It was so good.
There's a reason why.
Oh my god,
What?
can we just have Harley podcast? Can you just go away.
Yeah, I'll have her call. Come in here, Harley Quinn.
We just oh my god, I love the
Take the
Halloween
mic.
Town. I love the Halloween Town movies. So good. All right, yeah. We'll definitely have to we'll figure out a topic for
Oh,
next week.
look, she gave us a great recommendation for next week. The movie The Mask.
The Mask.
No, I don't think that's what
I was
that
like,
emoji stands for.
oh no, it's just a smiley face. But I thought like maybe she texted you, so I was like, oh, The Mask. I'm like, my chat's not popping up.
You know what? We could talk Jim Carrey.
We could.
We could talk the Jim Carrey of the 90s.
I mean, I'm down. So next week, Jim Carrey, The Mask, Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, Liar
Liar,
Liar,
liar, so good.
Truman Show. Yeah, because like in the 90s, early 2000s, that man had his
Oh
golden
my
age.
god,
We can have some fun with that.
that one is good. Oh my god, that might have to be a two-parter. I mean, is an hour enough to talk Jim Carrey?
Hogan. Yeah, of course. An hour.
No, he
Hour
needs more. He deserves more time. I feel like he could spend an
hour
hour
is
on
going to
each
be
movie.
hour's going to be enough to get us up to Man on the Moon, which is where the Jim Carrey Renaissance ends, and Jim Carrey became like the experimental artist. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to do an hour of focusing on his like slapstick Oh man, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, maybe an hour isn't enough.
Because I feel like I could just spend an hour on Liar Liar.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? We could always talk about Hook and just talk
Ooh.
about whether or not that's a good movie or a bad movie, because I feel like our generation loves it, but everyone else says it's trash.
I was gonna say, who says it's trash? Like, I was about to fight you if you thought it was a bad movie.
No, I love Hook.
Okay.
This
Who
won't make
says
for a good
it?
podcast then. We both love it. It was critically panned, and it is
What, like,
filled with nostalgia.
was, like, Gen Z not liking it? Like, who hates this? Who hates
Everyone,
this?
Jen, it's everyone. But you and me. It's just you and me who like Hook. That's it. No one else, not even the actors in the film liked it.
well,
It's
well, let's do Hook next week, and then we can just spend an hour convincing the world why Hook is amazing.
Yeah, tune in next week for our compelling arguments of why everyone must watch Hook, because it's just so good.
Oh, speaking of watching, I didn't realize that because Amazon owns Twitch, you can do watch parties as long as the movie's on Amazon.
Oh,
So
we can do a retro recall watch party one of these
that's what I was
days.
thinking. And if, like, some of those movies, like Hook, if it was on there, because, they
You know
have some of
what?
those on Amazon Prime.
That's going to be homework for you and me. Let's go through Amazon Prime and make a list of the retro content we find. Because, like, we
Yeah.
could also find some retro shows. I bet we could watch, like, an old episode of Urkel as a
Right?
watch
Yeah.
party.
Anything that's I think it has to be at least on Amazon Prime because otherwise it'll be if we try to watch like things on YouTube or anything like that, it's
Sure.
copyright licensing issues. But because I guess Amazon owns Twitch.
Yeah, no, Bezos loves when you represent Bezos.
I mean, I hate the man, but I love him.
I hate the man, and I hate him.
I
Wait,
look.
we're on Twitch right now
I
trying to succeed. I love the man. Please boost our channel.
That's all I'm saying. Can hate the man, but damn everything I use in this world. Thank you, Jeff Bezos.
No, thank you, all of the underpaid people that worked
Absolutely, yeah.
for Jeff Bezos who made it all happen that he took credit for.
Oh, I know. With this little
I love, by
dick-shaped
the way, I'm
rocket.
sorry, I just looked over at the tiny dick-shaped rocket. Um, I just look over at the chat, and I love that, like, I can watch Mike just giving us quotes from everything we're talking about. Like,
Right?
he's our
on
sound
it.
box.
He's on
He's
it.
If this were a shock jock radio show, he is the guy on the soundboard. He is the one hitting sound effects for us in the Twitch chat.
God, we need that. That'd be cool.
We do need that.
We need a
We do need
bot.
that.
We need a Mike
Can,
Kuttner.
we're gonna invest in a sound bot, and we're gonna name it Mike Kuttner. And Mike Kuttner will have control over said sound
That'd
bot.
be great. Look, he's got us. He's got our back.
I know. I know. He's not gonna let us go 30 minutes without audio. Cooter.
Scooter. Scooter's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just trying to play Halo. 30 minutes playing Halo.
Cooter, I don't blame you, but I just don't forgive you.
Right? I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That's all.
You never want to hear that, Cooter. You never want to hear that from a Twitch star.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
are a Twitch star, right? I am hitching myself to a star here.
I am. I am. What can I say?
Okay.
I did get it. I was very excited. I am. well, because I'm an affiliate, I finally got a paycheck from Twitch. It was very exciting. I thought it was pretty
That
cool.
is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Got a good amount of subs, and once we hit affiliate, you get like some money from ads and stuff like that.
You know what you should
Subscribers.
do? And I don't know if we should be planning this on air, but fuck it. You know what you should do? Plan a Retro Jenny stream right before Retro Recall, and then raid Retro Recall podcast.
Oh. Yes. Sorry, I'm like trying to think. I should be able to do that.
Yeah, because like I
rate
could
on
log
there.
in.
Yes. Yes.
I could log it in, have everything up and running with like the waiting screen, and you could raid them into the podcast, like bring them with you from the Retro Jenny.
I'm
But
trying.
then you don't get a break, so that kind of sucks.
I have to be on all the time. No, I
You want to be a star, don't you?
take these pills. Um, I have to think about it logistically because the same computer I stream us on is the one I use for Retro Jenny, and
What? Really? Is that why there's
but
that sign
I
behind you?
have to log out and then log back in. So I don't know how to
No, that's
rate
what I'm saying.
if
I
you're
can log into Retro Recall Podcast, get it started,
go
right? Just
live.
get go live, you raid in, bing bang boom.
Raid sounds like the Orchid Man's coming. Yeah, exactly. We'll figure it out.
We're gonna brainstorm this. Guys, if you want to hear us plot how we're gonna become huge Twitch stars more, go ahead and throw a star in the chat. Are there stars in chat?
I think it probably. One day when we hit 50 subscribers, we can use emotes. We can create emotes, and they're really cool because it's something that only subscribers can use, and we can make one that's a star. There, you
I'm gonna
got a
make a
star.
star emote. Star. I'm gonna make a star emote. I'm gonna make an emote out of the that RR for Retro Recall. You know me. I have too much fun making graphics.
Oh, trust me, I was getting super excited. I was trying to make some merchandise today, and I was really excited at the idea of like a merchandise for us for like a T-shirt for Retro Recall
Oh.
podcast. Like maybe like
We can do that back-to-back shoulder sitcom
yeah, too
stand.
cartoony. I don't know. I have to send you something.
I don't think we should do cartoony. I think we should go like full 80s, like just like popped collar, sweater vests, right?
Like
Like really.
I was thinking like, or what about Miami Vice? Like
Ooh, Miami Vice does work.
with
It fits
the
your
rolled up
aesthetic.
sleeve. I have to send you a picture of what I made today, where it's like something, a concept like that. By the way, yeah, and everyone here is like the last 15 minutes they've been talking about what they're going to talk about next.
Yeah, the last
Retro
15 minutes of the
Jenny
show
with her
is what
design's
we
going to be.
well, the last 15 minutes of the show is what we like to call the crash landing, where we like to ram this plane into the ground to see who survives.
And thank you all for still being here. Thank you. Well, I mean, I feel like we covered everything I wanted to say about uh,
Perfect.
the movie. It's Phantom Menace.
I really just wanted to just say, like, I think the reason I really wanted to bring it up is I've been on such a Star Wars kick recently, and it's just so funny to me looking back at that era where, like, they really didn't know how to market that movie. They
No.
just knew how to sell the toys, and they didn't really know much about the film. They were just like, "Ah, put the characters on things, and people will come," and they did. It
Yeah.
worked.
I mean, they made a lot of money, even though a lot of people
Mm.
crap on the movie, but it was technically a hit, right? Like, it didn't
Oh,
flop.
absolutely. No, it made its
My,
money and then some.
my only problem, I think, like I said, I was really impressed when I was watching it for the first time in theaters, but I think when I got older and watched it again, I was like, the CG was so bad. And we
Yeah.
had better technology at the time. We had it better. Or,
George Lucas had better technology. I expect better from
yeah.
George Lucas.
Or
That's
just,
the man who made special effects.
exactly. He's like the father of it.
Yeah,
Or,
that son of a bitch.
I know. So I guess to me there was
Oh,
that disappointment, and then also like I don't know, like I said, the CG was terrible at the time, and I hated that they stopped using like actors and costumes, to
yeah.
like maybe Jar Jar Binks could have been better if he wasn't CG and he was just an actor in a costume.
Well, Yoda was still a puppet at least
Yes,
in the
exactly. Or
first
puppets,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, at least they had and then in the second one they gave up on Yoda puppet. They were like, "All right, CG Yoda now."
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh, well, we
Sorry.
did it. It's 12 well, it's 9 o'clock
Nine
your time, 12 my time.
nine
And
12.
we ended staying on topic. I mean,
Guys, we
we
did
kind
it.
of we kind of flew away, but then we flew back to the topic nest.
We jumped out of the plane, and we definitely had a real bad tangled up fall, but that parachute did deploy, and here we are, stuck in a tree with the Phantom Menace, with all of you.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Honestly, yeah, guys, I just need to say and reiterate, I say this to Jen often. This is just a fun thing for us. This
Hmm.
is just a nice way to get together and like I don't know, two old friends remembering the things that used to make us feel young.
Yeah,
So
make us
the more you
happy.
have to say, the better. Please, 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 please throw things. Oh, as I say,
The
throw things into chat. Mike Cutner brings up
the
Indiana Jones
Kingdom
and the
of
Kingdom of
Crystal
the Crystal
Skull.
Skull.
There
Not
was no.
20 years old. We can't talk about it yet, but I'm going to say this right now, and this is my hot take. Are you ready? It's not the best Indiana Jones film, but it's better than Temple of Doom.
I was gonna say there was no fourth Indiana Jones movie. That's how bad that was. But wow, that's gonna be a topic of conversation.
Not 20
Temple
years
of
old yet.
Temple of Doom is better.
It isn't. It isn't. Rewatch them both.
No, no. I
Rewatch them.
look.
Kingdom of the
Or
Crystal Skull is a tighter story. It just has a weaker villain. That's really it. It's a better Indiana Jones story. It's a weaker villain, and he doesn't use the whip enough. And Shia LaBeouf sucks. But other than that, it's a
it's
really good
a weak
Indiana Jones film.
movie. It's
It
a
isn't. It isn't though.
it's a terrible movie. It doesn't even exist. I won't even acknowledge it.
Now then, you're missing out. You're
Oh,
missing
I've
out
seen
on
it,
a decent,
and
decent journey of
I am
Indiana Jones.
letting it. I'm letting it out of. It's like just a
Do you see
memory.
what happened? Do you see what
I'm
happened? We were stuck
letting
in
it.
the tree with our Phantom Menace parachute, and then Mike Cutner comes in and like blazes the trees.
Well, it's almost close, right? Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, they're
Yeah.
buddies.
George Lucas did write the ending of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which everyone is very upset about. That was George Lucas's doing. So, you know, it works.
Oh no, well that's definitely going to be a topic of conversation. Wait, what did
Okay.
we say we're going to do next week? Oh, Jim Carrey.
N- No, because we said we
Oh
couldn't
no,
fit it all.
Hook.
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 We need to write this down because I definitely want to do a discussion on. Wait, what year did, if this movie does exist, Kingdom of Crystal Skull come out?
2008 or 9 or 10? 10 or 11.
Because I remember when we met Dan Aykroyd.
Oh,
We
I
bought.
remember when we met Dan Aykroyd and
I mean, I think he
our
was
friend,
promoting his vodka and wine at that time.
he was promoting his vodka and wine, and our friend Sean got him to sign a copy of the movie Twilight,
Forgot
if I
about
recall
that.
correctly.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah. That was a good time. Altogether, good time. At a Publix
Yeah.
next to a golf course. Nice to meet you, Dan Aykroyd.
I still got my bottle of wine and my Ghostbusters that is signed by him, so.
I still got my bottle of wine, or rather, my parents. I gave it to them as a gift. They've got that signed bottle of wine, and I've got my Blues Brothers. So
And Sean still has his Twilight.
probably not, but he might. I don't want to take that away. He might.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
good.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to let Retro Jenny sign us off because she's the celebrity here. So, Retro Jenny, close it out in a way that makes more followers show up at the last minute.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the ending soon screen on. And then I'm gonna mute myself.
That works too.
Alright. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us until next Thursday. Guys,
Where
have
we'll
a
be
good one.
talking about Hook Jim Carrey.
We're hooked on Jim Carrey. Alright. Alright, until next week. Bye everybody.